Welcome to the sizzling world of love, lust, and laughs, and more importantly, desire. This is Desire Dialogues. Get ready to dive into an electrifying podcast hosted by yours truly. Have you ever wondered why your love life feels like a lukewarm cup of coffee? Ugh. Fret not. I'm here to sprinkle on some easy, practical advice and solutions to spruce things up. So we'll be diving into the pool of common struggles. Join me while we flip through the pages of love, turn up the heat on passion, and discover the secret sauce to fulfilling a spicy love and sex life. As a professional seller of sex toys since 2013, I ended up seeing that there was a gap when it comes to fulfilled relationships that you can't just really throw sex toys at to repair and enhance, right? I help individuals and couples authentically express themselves for a more harmonious relationship and sex life, whether alone or with a partner or partners, without fear of judgment and shame and old beliefs. So I have a signature program called Relationship Reignition and a kick-ass 30-day program, nice fun couples challenge to help reignite the flames. Each day you'd get a sensual and or sexual activity for each day to go ahead and act upon. So I'm glad you're here. Hit that play button and enjoy. So, how many times have you faked an orgasm? All right, my friends. What's up, pleasure seekers? Okay, so picture this, right? Festive seasons like Christmas don't just bring out the twinkling lights and cheerful tunes. Nope. These are also going to light up discussions about intimacy across search engines, social media. Like I saw it, right? So think about the surge in condom sales, right? On Christmas and over the holidays, like at spots like 7-Eleven. Guess what? This buzz also is going to lead to a summer baby boom in the US. So, partners really seem to find plenty of time for steamy activities while this like work vacation happens, the holidays, right? But like, hey, hold up here. The bedroom's not always this incredible merry-go-round, okay? From a study in 2019 from the Archives of Sexual Behavior, guess what was revealed? Nearly 60% of vulva owners owned up to faking orgasms. And around 25% of penis owners did the same thing. So why the fakes? Like, why are we faking orgasms, right? Communication bloopers. That's why. So, like, sometimes it's just tougher to start the chat about what's really tickling your fancy, you know, how to share what you want in the bedroom without being concerned about it won't land well, or you're going to hurt your partner's feelings that they're not doing something right. In my opinion, there's always room for growth. And also, the way to tickle my fancy is not the same every single time. Are you with me? Is that you too? So, like, imagine almost half of these women keeping quiet just to save their partner's feelings, right? And then, like, a whopping 80% are just too shy to spill the beans about their intimate moments. It's like, it's awkward, right? It can be. That's where I come in. So, hey, it's not all rain clouds and thunderstorms here. Like, there's a whole world of medical stuff playing a part as well. We have depression, right? Anxiety, and then also vaginal discomfort. And those can really be sneaky culprits behind your big fake O. And it's not just one team in this game, okay? So, as you heard me say, the folks with the penises also hop on the fake train for various reasons. So here's the kicker, right? Some folks need more time in TLC to reach that big O. And sometimes we're not willing to ask for more time or exactly those things. You know, I did a poll on Instagram. Check the show notes to connect with me there. I do a lot of polls. I'd love to hear from you guys. You know, I'm here sitting here talking at you, but I want to know what you think. I got quite a few from vulva owners that said, you know, I was just it was too long, I was getting tired, and it would start to get uncomfortable because the body itself will, kind of stop making lubrication. It could kind of be like a like a vaginal rug burn over a while. Your hips are starting to hurt, right? And then you get a bunch of other things to do. So it's like just taking too long and you got to go to bed, right? And it's like, I've also, heard the same actually from some penis owners, so that they would fake it as well because they thought their partner just wasn't into it anymore. And they felt like a failure because they didn't finish yet. Orgasms are not the end all be all. And that is a whole separate episode. So with needing more TLC, it's like, think of it like a delayed flight. It's like just taking a little bit longer to get there. Like here, picture this, right? You're trying to jazz up the pleasure game, but you feel like you hit a roadblock. Bam. Like you may think that those exaggerated moans and pretending may do the trick. So sometimes we just need a little make-believe to make it happen, right? Here's the real deal. This fake business can actually mess with your pleasure playbook. So think about it, There was a study, I love my studies, 31% of partners can't even spot where the clitoris is on an anatomy chart. So the purpose of my podcasts are to help educate. So better anatomy smarts can level up our games, right? So really, if you want to show your partner without words, you can take their hand over yours and do it in the motion that you like, whether it be up and down, back and forth. Don't worry about adding a little lube either, so you don't get like, clit sandblasted here. You just, whatever feels comfortable for you, they want you to feel good, right? That is the key. So, and this is the thing, like in some relationships, it's different strokes for different folks. Totally cool, right? So some may not even seek that grand finale of an orgasm. All right, and that's all right. That is when both are fulfilled with pleasure. This is what I teach. Then it was good. So it's like being the ultimate wingman without expecting a high five in return. It's, if faking becomes a norm, trouble may be brewing down here, dude. That fake moan, today can set a whole stage of misunderstanding for tomorrow. So how about we start chatting, like real chatting about our desires and what make us tick, right? Communication is going to be your real MVP in every situation. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't. Ask yourself, are my desires not important? There's reasons why you're not sharing. And I love to do a little insider insight. This is a whole pillar in my program when it comes to not sharing what we need emotionally or sexually. Is my pleasure not important to me? And then also, is my pleasure not important to my partner? And like, why do you think these ways? Is this something that was in your belief backpack? Right? So, there's definitely some icebreakers for talking about your pleasure. There is ways to share what you like, whether verbally or non-verbally. Okay? Always start with a positive. Okay, so for example, hey, I really like it when you play with my breasts. I would love to have us both know what makes me feel the best so we can both experience more pleasure and satisfaction. All right, so there's your positive statement to start. I is your intention, right? And then some various things that can help with this, right? So you can give various strategies. Like, I really actually like when you squeeze my breasts. Or I really like when you circle my nipple with your tongue. It makes it so much juicier for me. And it's like, hey, I thought if something's happening that you're not really into, that's okay. The thing is that you can ask, like, I really enjoyed when this happened. You can just grab it from like, your past sexual experiences. You'd be like, I really liked that. Could we do something similar to that tonight, right? And it's like, each time too, when you do have sexy time, you can be in a different mood. So we can't expect our partners to read our mind. We really can't. And it's okay if what's happening in the throes of passion isn't working for you. Be like, hey, I was digging this, but like now I'm not. Can we try this position instead? Or is there another position you would like? Just have like a quick little chat about it. But when it comes to a post-sex recap, which I love, there's a few helpful things that you can ask. For one, you could say, I really enjoyed such and such. Can we build, or how can we build more on that for next time? Like, what would you like to add into that? Like, these are all relationship and like sex recipes, right? That you guys are creating together and bringing in your likes to, create your like specials menu here. So getting input from your partner is great. And you can also ask too, like, what did you not like so much that we could not do next time? We can just leave that off the list. Getting the no's out of the way can lead more for the yeses and the maybes. All right. And it's like, what do you think about this move for next time? Owning your part in the scenario, whether it be uncomfortable for a minute, you switch positions. They would want you to. And if you don't think they would want to, I just want you to really kind of sit with that and think about why that is. And if that's really the case, our mind can be this really sneaky tool that really robs us of our pleasure. They really do. It makes it really difficult for us to authentically express what we need. But you will get so much more satisfaction and confidence and connection to be on the same page with your partner when you authentically express. You deserve to authentically express. So I'm going to leave you with the question like I usually do. What would you ask for the next sexual experience? All right, and this is not just P and V. This is foreplay. This is all the things. Sex is whatever sex is to you. It is not P and V, end all be all. Promise. So the question to leave you with is, what do I want to ask for? And you can start just by writing that down on a piece of pen and paper, right? And maybe reach out to me and I can help you fine tune or remove any anxieties when it comes to going ahead and actually sharing that. Just think about what happens and how that will feel after asking that question and having it be answered. The question, nothing changes when you don't ask, right? They cannot read your mind. You deserve more pleasure. Pleasure is your birthright, all right? And you don't have to ask for permission. You tell them what you think you'd like more of. And guess what? This may open the connection or the conversation for them to open up and share for them. Like, you'd love to probably know what will bring them more pleasure too. And now you're just on this like back and forth conversation to add to the things they like and get rid of the things they don't, right? Imagine someone's licking your ear for 10 years, you don't like it, and then come to find out that they don't like it. What are we doing? So conversations can really clear up any, miscommunications and really hone in on the things that are important to you. And your desire and your pleasure and your satisfaction is important to all parties involved. All right, my friends, we'll talk soon. Check the show notes if you ever want to reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. Any requests for upcoming episodes, I would love to hear from you. Any feedback, any, oh my gosh, that was me. It was totally me. I want to hear from you. Talk soon, my friends. Thanks so much again for listening. I would love it if you follow and subscribe to this podcast. It actually helps the podcast programs and platforms be able to recognize the sexuality type of podcasts. They're not necessarily easily searchable, so it would really help other listeners like you be able to get some really fun stuff in between their ears. So feel free to share it with a friend if you think they'd be into this too and learning more about their body, desire, and things to enhance their relationships with themselves or others. Also, all of my information to connect on all the socials, to order yourself some sex toys, are all in the link in the podcast description. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget, pleasure is your birthright, and you don't have to ask permission.